After my grandfather's death, the family's livelihood was mainly supported by two sisters. One of my father's two sisters married far away in Kunming, the other in Harbin, and my father's elder brother went far away to Busan, North Korea, at which time my grandmother fell ill, and my father had to take on the heavy responsibility of supporting the family. Thus, 6 months short of graduation, my father left school. My father's dream of studying abroad in Paris to continue his music studies had not yet awakened. My father was employed as a music teacher at Rotary Middle School. Rotary was a railroad high school at the foot of the Great Wall, an hour's train ride from Beijing's Xinjiang Gate every day. The train ride was free with the railroad high school logo. Because he traveled this way every day, everyone knew each other, and when he got on the train, the driver, the ticket checker, the stewardesses, and the parents of the students all called my father Mr. Wang, which made him feel really proud to be a teacher. In order to earn more money, my father also worked as a music teacher at 2 other middle schools. He was always in a hurry as he traveled between the 3 schools. With a little more money, he felt closer to Paris. Father met his first wife, Duming Yuan, at his classmate Cao Tiaogan's place. Cao told my father that Duming Yuan, a female student at the Beijing Art College, was to perform a ballet at a disaster relief performance organized by the YMCA, and that she needed a singer to accompany her, and he himself was to be the piano accompanist. As a relief performance was something that every new youth would like to do, my father readily agreed and came to Cao Tiaogan's place to rehearse on one of his days off. The daughter of a wealthy and enlightened gentleman in Kaifeng, Duming Yuan was a good-looking woman who studied Western painting at the Beijing Art College. Because of her cheerful and lively personality, she also studied ballet. In the 1930s, ballet was still rare, and only a handful of people had ever seen it, let alone learned it. Miss Du was very fashionable, and in Beijing at that time she was considered a good and open-minded woman. It was almost love at first sight between my father and Duming Yuan. The performance took place in the auditorium of the Beiping YMCA, with Duming Yuan's ballet, Cao Tiaogan's piano accompaniment, and my father's lyrical tenor backing vocals. The performance was a success. Cao Tiaogan was the son of a huge rich man, but he was a rebellious young man who gave up his family's arrangement and chose music, living a somewhat hermit-like life. He eats lightly, dresses in ordinary clothes, and rents a house in a temple. He has a crush on Duming Yuan from Kaifeng. The love at first sight between my father and Duming Yuan was all in his eyes. He could see that my father had been avoiding Duming Yuan's feelings because of his regard for his feelings, and he said sincerely to my father, "I am a curmudgeon, and Miss Du is vivacious and cheerful, so we are not compatible. She likes you. Boldly go after her." No one knows if Cao Tiaogan never married for the rest of her life because of Duming Yuan. Duming Yuan, who was a daughter of a rich family, chose Wang Luobin, a poor and humble son, perhaps because his lyrical tenor struck her in an instant. After the September 18th incident, there were many exiled students from the Northeast in Beiping, and the shadow of the war was getting stronger and stronger. Duming Yuan also returned to his hometown Kaifeng, and they communicated only through letters. Northeast writer Xiao Jun's novel, August Countryside, was published in Shanghai after Mr. Lu Xun's personal proofreading. This is the first novel that depicts the anti-Japanese armed struggle after the fall of Northeast China in the 9/18 incident. My father loved to swim, and he often rode his bicycle to the canal in front of the Jiaoliang Bridge after class. Northeastern University had moved to Xinjiang, and a group of Northeastern University students loved to swim here, and my father soon became friends with them. Xiao Jun's August in the Countryside reached Beijing, and was widely circulated among Northeastern University students who would read it aloud when they got together. It was while swimming in the canal that my father listened to the novel being read aloud by the exiled students in an impassioned manner on the river's edge. The novel brought tears to the eyes of both the reader and the listener. Father loved the novel. When reading, the hero and heroine love each other. But because of the war against Japan cannot love each other, my father's young heart was excited, caused him a lot of reverie. Duming Yuan has returned to Kaifeng. The two only rely on letters to maintain the love. Father's heart has long been flying to the distance. He wrote down the poem of the heroine of the novel, the Korean resistance nurse, and returned home to write a song called Slave Love in one night, which he could only sing with an American voice. The next day, when they came to the canal, the college students from the Northeast had already gone into the water because all the people who came here were boys, and they traditionally swam in the nude, which they called swimming in the wild. Father said from the shore, "I composed the song Slave Love last night," and with that, he sang it. When everyone heard the song, they all said it was good and clamored to learn it. So my father taught them one line at a time on the bank, and a large group of people followed along in the river. A group of bare-bottomed youths sang, "I want to fall in love." If outsiders had seen that scene, they would have laughed their stomachs off, but they sang it very seriously. This song was the first anti-Japanese novel interlude in China. As Northeastern University students went into exile across the country, the song spread in all directions.